Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. Hey everyone, I, 27 female, find myself in a tricky and emotionally challenging situation, and I could use your advice. Let me take you back a few years to when I was in my final year of college. I was dating Kelvin, now my ex, 27 male, and we had a loving relationship. However, life had other plans for us, because I got pregnant during that time. When I broke the news to Kelvin, he suggested I get an abortion, citing concerns about how it might affect my education and future career. At first, I thought he was just scared and needed time to process the situation, but I soon discovered he was damn serious. And there was more to his reasoning. While contemplating whether to proceed with the abortion, I stumbled upon the truth. Kelvin had been seeing another girl, Lily, 23 female, who came from a wealthy background. It shattered my heart to find that he didn't want our baby because he was more interested in the lifestyle Lily could provide. Furious, I confronted him, demanding an explanation. Can you believe he said he would consider staying with me if I terminated our baby? I couldn't believe the coldness of his words. I made up my mind then and there. If the price to pay for his love were to kill my baby, I would rather not have him in my life, and I left. So Kelvin heartlessly chose to walk away and abandon us. Although I knew my decision might cost me a lot, I kept the pregnancy, even though it meant doing it alone. It was an incredibly tough journey, mainly because I was in my final year of college. I faced much criticism and judgment, but I persevered, surrounding myself with the support of friends and family who stood by me. Fast forward to 2 years, Kelvin and Lily got married and had a child. However, Lily suffered from severe postpartum depression, a condition that affects most new mothers. And it overwhelmed her to the point where she left Kelvin and their baby, taking off with a doctor. This left Kelvin to take care of their child all by himself. I recently received a phone call from Kelvin, his first contact in 2 years since he left. I was surprised because he never called to check on me, not even when I gave birth. He wants me to help take care of his child and raise him together with him. He argues that both our kids have his blood, so it's only normal that I step up, given my experience raising a baby. However, it's hard to forget how he never cared about me or our baby when we needed him the most. I remember how my life was all messed up because my religious parents left me to my fate, disappointed that I gave birth without marriage, and most importantly, to someone who didn't care. It was a challenging moment for me, but after all the suffering, I managed to graduate, get a job, and I can proudly say that my child and I are living a pretty good life without needing his help. So, I blatantly declined his request. I have had enough pain because of him already. Here's where I'm torn. I understand that every child deserves love and care regardless of the circumstances of their birth. I don't want any child to suffer. However, Kelvin's past actions have left me feeling hurt and betrayed. I question his reliability and wonder if he will be there for his child this time. And most importantly, it's him and his ex's child. Raising my child single-handedly has been a journey of strength and hard work, and I'm hesitant to expose us to potential pain and disappointment again. I don't want to compromise my child's well-being by putting myself in a situation that might not be stable. So folks, I'm asking you, am I the a-hole for saying no to raising my ex's child after he abandoned us? Please share your thoughts and advice. Thank you. Update. Hello everyone, thanks to all your lovely advice and support, it helped me make a satisfying decision. So after I refused to take in Kelvin's child or move in with him, he seemed confused. He had the guts to call me again yesterday, trying to bargain with me. He wants me to move in with him as a nanny for his baby, and he will provide and cater to all my needs. Well, I told him straight up that he should consider seeing another rich girl. Yesterday, I switched my phone number. I think I've had enough of him. Well, I'm glad for your support. You're not the a-hole, OP. Kelvin is a big a-hole that continues to be a big a-hole. He was an a-hole when he left you when you were pregnant for a rich lady. He is also an a-hole now for believing you would take him up on his insane offer. It sucks that his wife left him and he's now raising their child alone, but I would call it karma. He doesn't deserve your help, but for the poor kid's sake, I hope someone helps him. That someone doesn't have to be you though. Story 2. I'm pregnant with my 4th baby. My older sister and her partner, who aren't pregnant yet, not trying yet either, but plan to fall pregnant at some point this year, asked me tonight if I have any baby names. I said not really yet because I don't want opinions. My sister jokingly said, "Yeah, okay, you never tell me anything," so I reluctantly said, "Well, I do have a boy's name chosen, it's Henry." Straight away her fiancé said, "No, can't have that one, that's my dad's name. His dad passed away a few years ago." I get it, that name means something to them, but I don't think that means he can't tell me I can't use them. I said, "Well, sorry, it's the only name we like." I even said that they can both be Henry. My sister said, "Don't worry, I think she's having a girl anyways." I have 2 boys already. I struggled badly to find names for them. My oldest wasn't named for 2 weeks. This time I fell in love with the name Henry almost immediately. I will be finding out my NIPT results in a few days. I feel like I'm more likely to have a boy than another girl as I have 2 boys. After his comment, I overheard them talking about it. Made me feel so awkward and, if I'm honest, pissed off. This is why I didn't want to tell them names. I also should add that my little sister is also pregnant. She has found out she's having a girl, and when she told my older sister that they are thinking they will call her Frankie, my older sister apparently said, "Oh, that's my name for a girl." She told my little sister that she could have the name. Would I be the a-hole if I name my baby Henry? You would be the a-hole in my opinion, OP, for making a big deal out of this. There are hundreds of thousands of possible names you could choose for your baby. Show a little compassion and kindness and let your future nephew share a special connection with his grandfather who passed away before he was born. Even if the way that your sister and brother-in-law approached the situation may have been abrasive, I think the decent thing to do is seed them this name that has a personal significance for your brother-in-law and his future son. If you can't think of another name that you love just as much or even more, that is an issue with you. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. You get to name your baby what you want. They don't get to call dibs. They asked a question and didn't like the answer. If you kept it from them and told them once the baby was born, "We're just going to demand you to change the name?" Ridiculous. Also, her giving the name Frankie to your little sister is ridiculous. What is it about people believing they have an exclusive claim to call their kids really common names? There are so many posts on Am I the A-hole where people are crying because someone's kid, dog, houseplant has the same name as their kid. And it's always a really commonplace name like Justin or something. There is absolutely no reason why they can't both be called Henry. It's one of the most common names ever, and they are incredibly arrogant, not to mention stupid, if they believe that they have the sole claim to that name for their hypothetical firstborn just because a family member also had that name. Like, for F's sake. Most white people probably have an ancestor called Henry. Not the a-hole. Go with the name you want. I'm skipping over the Frankie thing because it seems irrelevant. The bottom line is that you want to use your brother-in-law's dead father's name just because you like it. It doesn't have any significance to you, and just because you have the chance to use it first, and technically you can name your kid whatever you want, doesn't mean you're the a-hole for doing so. And as far as both cousins having the same name, that's easy for you to say since your kid is first. So unless you're planning on calling him a nickname like Hank, that's bullshit. You know full well your potential nephew is going to be called a nickname or Little Henry, because families are always saying it's just so confusing with there being 2 of them. And Henry was Henry long before the baby came along. In my opinion, it's shitty, and the kind thing to do would be to pick a new name. You are the a-hole. Story 3. I, 29 male, have a daughter, 5 female, with my ex-wife, 30 female. Me and my daughter's mother didn't have a great relationship, and it all fell apart when she went to prison. We got divorced and I got custody of our daughter. She has supervised visitation rights. I met my current wife, 31 female, and me and her hit it off great. She loved my daughter and my daughter loved her. We got married 6 months ago or so. My ex is still in touch with my family. When I was visiting with my parents, my daughter referred to my wife as Mom. My wife is fine with this. My parents didn't say anything while we were there, but afterwards said I should have corrected my daughter. And they said that my ex would be upset seeing it as it was her biological child. She is rarely in my daughter's life, and my wife is her main mother figure. I told my parents this and they said it wouldn't kill me to tell my daughter to call her something different. My ex started texting me upset about it as well. Am I the a-hole for letting my daughter refer to my wife as a mother? Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. It's very important to let the child lead in these situations. You're married, so this isn't some flavor of the month fling. And your daughter wants to call her mom, so let her. People can have two parents of the same gender and refer to them both as the same name or some variation of it. Mom or mama. Not the a-hole. You can have more than one mom, which does not devalue the others no matter how they came into your life. A birth mother, a mother who raised you, a stepmom, mother figure, etc. There are many of them. Your wife is one of the moms in your child's life. Your ex needs to calm down and everybody should just butt out of it. Far from it. You're not the a-hole. The term mom and dad is not given to those who gave birth, but to those who treat children as their own. I think your ex gave up that mom right a long time ago. When my youngest was a toddler, he used to call a good friend of ours mom, as that's what her own two daughters called her in front of him. He just thought her name was mom. I was mommy. I thought it was great that everyone was comfortable enough with what he was saying. It was a phase. He soon learned what her correct name was as he got older.